Billie Lee Hornberger grew up with her twin brother in Des Moines. She met the man that would become the love of her life, Bob Ray, when they attended church camp together at an early age. They both attended Roosevelt High School and started to date in their junior year. Following their graduation in 1946, Billie went on to Drake University, where she earned her degree in education. And following 2 years of service in the Army in post-World War II Japan, Bob Ray returned to Des Moines and joined Billie at Drake, where he earned his degree in business administration and law. In 1951, they were married and started their lifelong commitment to impact the lives of others. In the 1950s, Mrs. Ray was thriving as an elementary teacher in Des Moines, impacting the lives of countless students with her focus on good academics and good character. In the late 50s and early 60s, Governor and Mrs. Ray shared the joy of becoming parents, and Mrs. Ray considers her 3 daughters and 8 grandchildren as the highlight of her life. By the end of the 60s, they started on a new journey that saw them provide over a decade of service as the first family to Iowans from 1969 to 1983, when Governor Ray served the state with distinction, and Mrs. Ray was a revered First Lady of Iowa. Mrs. Ray was a bridge builder who always extended the very best of Iowa to both Iowa citizens and guests from across the country and the globe. When Terrace Hill was given to Iowa by the Hubble family, it was Mrs. Ray who took the leadership role to mobilize support for the restoration of the building into the governor's mansion that continues to serve Iowa's first family. Mrs. Ray raised funds through producing and publishing both cookbooks and a needlepoint book, and sought support from the 99 county Republican women's organizations and the 99 county Democratic women's organizations, early evidence of her gift of bringing people together despite their differences. As a note, the Republican women funded the China and the Democratic women funded the Silver Service for Terrace Hill. Mrs. Ray was actively involved in supporting Governor Ray, and most notably in efforts to relocate refugees to Iowa in the 1970s and 80s. Mrs. Ray was a respected voice of support, advocating that Iowans could provide immediate help that built momentum around the Iowa Shares Initiative that is still strong today with support to those in need, and led numerous delegations of Iowans on international trips to build relationships that resulted in Iowa becoming a national model of citizen diplomacy. Mrs. Ray was chair of the Blank Park Zoo, which at the time was part of the city of Des Moines and facing the possibility of closure. Mrs. Ray mobilized a group of fellow community leaders and advocates and saved the Blank Park Zoo with the conversion from city ownership to a nonprofit organization that continues to thrive today. Mrs. Ray was also an active participant in supporting Governor Ray when he served as president of Drake University, as well as mayor of Des Moines. They did everything together, and Mrs. Ray was a visible leader in all of their efforts, and those efforts always had an opportunity to have a positive impact in the lives of others. Mrs. Ray was also a respected businesswoman who, along with Governor Ray, owned several radio stations in Iowa, including WMT in Cedar Rapids. With her experience in education and active engagement and support of the initiatives Governor Ray was involved, it was no surprise that Mrs. Ray was actively supportive and engaged in the efforts to launch character counts in Iowa. Starting in one 5th grade classroom in 1997 to now being the global home for character counts serving over 8 million youth, Mrs. Ray continues to provide her advice, insights, and strong encouragement to transform lives and strengthen communities through the efforts of the organization that is now known as the Robert D. and Billie Ray Center at Drake University.
Congratulations, Mrs. Ray. You're a deserving recipient of the Robert D. Ray Pillar of Character Award. You've lived a life of exemplary character, and you've uplifted and developed the character in others. And for that, we are honored to present this award to you. And we're also so pleased that from this point forward, our organization's highest honor and award will now be known as the Robert D. and Billie Ray Pillar of Character Award. Congratulations.